Thank you guys for coming. Super excited to coach you. So I'm Lina Padegimaite, just call me Lina. I'm currently on the California Black Bears for the MLP team. I compete full-time on the PPA and MLP tours. I've been full-time since 2023. I wear a lot of hats outside of pickleball. I'm a mom of a 5-year-old boy. I'm also a physical therapist, just holding my license active right now just because I can't do all the jobs, but I love helping people maximize their potential. I'm Lithuanian originally. I have a tennis background. I played college tennis at the University of Texas at Austin. Certified to coach pickleball through PPR, and just really excited to help you guys level up.
We're gonna have a good time today, and yeah, at any time if you have any questions, just let us know. We're here to kind of provide you with advantages and disadvantages of doing things a certain way, and then you can see how that applies to you, and we'll just go from there.
I am big on footwork, okay? So I am a huge believer that if you're in the right spot on the court, in the right position, you're already like kind of in a good spot to start with. So when we're warming up in the dinks, okay, look at my court positioning and footwork. I'm gonna make sure that I always try to hit the ball in front of me. So you see my right leg sometimes is moving back. You see that? If the ball is coming here to the line, okay, I'm trying to hit the ball here. I'm gonna back up. Sometimes I'm gonna reach forward, okay? But my contact point, do you see my contact point is always in front of me? And it's not changing that much. My contact point, I am moving around the ball, okay? I don't let the ball dictate my shots. Do you see that? Do you see how Irina and I take like a clockwork little lunge back? Look with the left leg, you see this? Instead of, hit me another deep one, instead of nose down. Sorry, that's a bad example. Don't do that, okay? So I open up, I come back. I open up, I come back, okay? The other thing of a consistency is how many joints am I moving, okay? So watch, I open up. All I'm doing is a shoulder hinge over here. I'm not opening up and then moving the whole thing, okay?
We're only dinking in 3 spots. So it's gonna be very, very easy for you, and that's one of the biggest things the pros do. There's one spot here, there's one spot here, there's one spot here. You aim here because it's the most high percentage target. Something can go wrong, you can add maybe a little bit more pace, a little bit more spin, the ball will move. But if you're just aiming into something big, you keep it simple. And if things go wrong, there's margin. So that's a big, big element of consistency, is aiming for big targets.
Yes, high percentage shots. So everybody like spread out, and we're gonna mimic some body mechanics for the dinking consistency, and then we're gonna spread out and do a drill. So for the ready position, everybody stay light on the feet, okay? So if the dink is out somewhere to the side, where sometimes I just have to take a lateral step, right? Everybody like take a lateral step here. My paddle is out here, and then push through the shoulder. For the people who dink two-handed, do I have two-handed dinkers here? Yeah. So then you go 2 hands here, dip the head of the paddle. I'm still pushing just mainly from the shoulder. Sometimes I close the head of the paddle if I need to, if I want to spin the ball a little bit. But at all times, I'm just here, and I'm pushing here, okay? On the forehand here, one-handed, I dip the head of the paddle a little bit and then push. Right here, perfect, okay? Now, if you get the ball, so Irina, hit me a couple more, like right around my foot. Okay, here. So yeah, perfect. So you see sometimes how I take that leg back to hit the ball in front of me. Now, I call these clockwork lunges. Let's do this. I step back and out. Does that make sense? In this angle, not just back. A lot of times it's like back and out. This foot is open, yeah, and then I hit in front of me. Right foot goes back and out. I hit, I come back. Does that make sense? Yep. All right, so when we're dinking, our goal is to keep that ball in front of us at all times. For a couple minutes, we're not gonna do any speed ups, and then we're gonna start, okay? But I'm gonna be walking around looking at your footwork and your mechanics for a little bit, okay? Nice, here we go. Take it out of the air, yeah, just on those, yeah, don't get a bad habit of backing up on those. Nice. That's overreaching, right? At some point, if you're reaching so much where you have nothing to give to the ball, that's too much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, let it come through more.
Feel free to adjust your feet in like small steps, just so you don't feel like you're confined to one spot. We're looking pretty good, my friends.
When you guys dink, a couple things that I noticed. Sometimes you see the ball that's to the side and you lead with your nose. So you go here, you go down to get the ball. Once you lead with your nose, if it's outside of your kind of reach zone, you load this leg and you can't lift it anymore, okay? So I want you to go lead with the leg, okay? You're like lead with the leg. Does that make sense? I see the ball, I lead with my feet. If I see the ball and I lead with my nose and my paddle, I get stuck. It is not wrong if I'm looking to reach out of the air. So dink with me a couple, okay? If I'm looking to get balls out of the air, I am leaning and I'm grounding on my feet, right? So I'm over here grounding, okay? But then I can also take a step back. So I'm here looking, and if I need to, I'm staying light. Sometimes hit something away from me. I'm gonna do a bad example. Hit something away from me. If you do this, I load this leg, I reach, I can't lift it anymore, okay? It's that balance of being grounded, but also light enough to move. Does that make sense?
To move your face and keep your head above your head.
Yes. Okay. Yes, so don't nosedive to the ball. And a lot of that in the transition, when you talk about resets, will be kind of like in the similar category where we don't nosedive to the ball. We lead with our legs. And we keep the glass of water that's stuck at our sternum. This is my visual. If there's a glass of water that's stuck at your sternum, we try not to spill it. Okay, so we're a little bit more here. I want you guys to do a couple cross-court dinking rallies. And then, so be my partner a little bit on the cross-court. Couple cross-court rallies here. Here, or sometimes I might reach out of the air, okay? See how everything is in front of me? My base is pretty steady. Here, that's where that consistency comes from, okay? I think a lot of the kitchen consistency is a lot of the leg work and just being able to maintain that ready position. We talk about ready position and we think it's like for beginners, it's ready position. But really, pros do fundamentals really well. That makes sense. Like we just do fundamentals really well, and that's what makes that player better. Yeah, sure, we have the nuances later on, but if you can focus on good fundamentals, that is raising your level already. So the fact that you're over here and your quads are burning and your buttocks are burning, you're doing something right versus just overreaching, and just, not picking up the feet, okay? A lot of the resets happen in the midcourt. It doesn't have to be in the midcourt. We can reset from the kitchen. I'm just gonna demonstrate here a little bit. So first I'm gonna just demo, okay? Look at my body mechanics. And then I sneak up on her. I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. So what do you notice in the reset body position?
Honestly, you're not moving that much.
Yeah.
Perfect, less is more. Not moving that much. Get your buttocks low, like you were sitting back on the chair. Now, my paddle position, if I'm resetting in the mid-court, is gonna be a little bit lower than if I were at the net, okay? So at the net, you see Irina's is kind of higher by the belly button. In the mid-court, I'm looking for a lot of the balls at my feet, okay? So my paddle position is automatically lower. Now, if Irina decides to hit the ball through my chest, where is that ball going? Out. So leaving an out ball is also a skill, okay? So here, I'm gonna be low, okay? You see my paddle position, it's low. I'm not really out. Okay, that's a good leave. I was talking to my group. I have this glass of water, my imaginary glass of water that is stuck at my sternum, and I'm not spilling it. I'm over here. I'm resetting over here, okay? So I'm not really bending. I'm gonna show something like more of like a bad example. So I see a lot of this, like, you know, you're kind of like, you're leading. The legs are back. I'm hinging at the hip. I do this. I bend over. The nose is down. Once my nose goes down, then I start lifting. I can overcompensate. The ball goes high. I don't know what's gonna happen. I get attacked. Okay. What do you think about like grip pressure? Like how? Because they were asking like, how do you absorb the ball?
I think grip pressure is fairly light. And you just have to create an upwards angle on your paddle, right? And then you're squeezing your glutes and kind of pushing the ball up while keeping your head down. So we don't want the head to follow the paddle because then we'll lose control. So the head stays down and the paddle just goes slightly up.
Yeah. shoulder hinge over here. So let's watch Irina do a couple resets.
And I'm just trying to keep my resets. It's a softer shot, and I'm trying to aim below her like waist, ideally.
Nice. I'm gonna attack it. See it? She reset the ball even from there. I reset a ton two-handed actually, and you reset a ton two-handed too.
Yeah, I think you kind of need both. If maybe you have to reach, it goes one-handed, or if sometimes if it's really like at you. But otherwise, yeah, you can go two-handed. It's a little harder to reset two-handed here, but we're not seeing balls at this level. So absolutely, yes. Both are valid options.
I think two-handed sometimes feels steadier to me personally. I don't feel the strongest one-handed if there's a really hard ball. Sometimes on these lighter balls, I feel better one-handed. But if Irina like hit a really hard ball somewhere towards my foot on there. This one, I always would go two-handed, okay? One more, here we go. Yeah, like I just feel a lot steadier with a two there than with one, okay? I mean, I can do one-handed, but I don't feel good at all with it. With one hand, your advantage, like Irina was saying, you can reach more, because with two hands, you don't reach as much. But I'm trying to just kind of get everywhere here. But then with one hand, I might need to reach, or if I get chicken winged over here, it's also sometimes a bit hard to get over there. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit more drilling, like one up at the kitchen, one person in the mid-court. So what the person at the net can work on is, look at Irina. So she's gonna hit a lot of topspin volleys. Do you see that? So sometimes when you hit a topspin ball at my feet, it is harder for me to reset the topspin than it is to hit like a flat ball. So if she hits like a flat ball over here, it doesn't have as much spin when it bounces. It's a little bit easier for me to reset. Does that make sense? So the people at the net will work on their reach a little bit, okay? And see if you can hit some top spins here. If you don't have it, that's totally fine. We can come and try to teach you, or you can just go flat push to the ball, okay? So top spin, you dip the head of the paddle here, a roll volley. A lot of it is still legs and shoulder hinge. I just start with my wrist like cocked back a little bit in here, okay? I don't muscle it over as much, yeah. And then this player, you guys just kind of explore the mid-court. You can be a little bit further back, okay? You can be a little bit closer in, try to get some resets here. If the ball is high, you can attack once in a while, punch it, give her some pace, and then I'm gonna try to reset, and then come in, get some pace. Okay, but really focus on, out, maybe. Really focus on really good leg work. I want your legs burning. In the 2 minutes that whatever, how many minutes you spend here, good burn in the legs, okay? So I'm not coming up after every reset like this. I'm over here, okay? So you focus on your roll volleys, and if he's resetting really well, then you can take a step back and you can just roll or push off the bounce, okay? Less is more, okay? So your first movement, you see the ball come to you and you take a back swing, okay? This is where less is more on the reset, and instead of taking the backswing, you either just go to the ball to get it out of the air, or if you move the leg back, my paddle still stays forward. Does that make sense? Okay. Instead of swinging, okay? Hold the ball in your paddle a little bit longer, okay? So sometimes you're just trying to like punch it back. Keep that ball in your paddle as long as you can. That's what's gonna give you that reset, like absorption. Does that make sense? Yeah. Connect with the ball and make contact point longer. Yes, that's really good. That's really good. So think about you're carrying the ball in the paddle a little bit longer. Beautiful. Don't get rid of it. Yes, good job.
So from here, right, you can use it as a volley sometimes. Okay. And when the ball is coming closer to you on the forehand side, what we want to do is point, imagine an imaginary clock for your paddle at 5 p.m. So you want to contact the ball here and then just move your arm just without flicking anything. Just move your arm slightly up. Just nice and easy. Like you're trying to hit the ball with your hand. Oh, just slightly up. Yeah. But key is starting 5 p.m. paddle is below wrist. And I just give it a slight little tap. Just low, paddle starts low and then shoulder goes up just slightly and smoothly. Yeah.
When you get the ball on your side and it's a hard ball and you're trying to reset, you have to sort of not try to get rid of the ball too soon, because this is the example of what I saw and maybe what's not the best, okay? Don't copy that. So she's hitting a hard ball and you're just trying to like get rid of the ball. Watch. And you see how short this contact point is? Okay, so one more time. So you're here and you're basically going really quick and flicking your wrist trying to get rid of the ball, which is not how you want to reset, okay? When you're trying to reset the ball, you want to hold the ball, like visualize holding the ball on your paddle for a long period of time, okay? So if she's hitting the ball at me, I'm thinking I'm gonna hold this ball on my paddle for a long time versus just getting rid of the ball too soon. Does that make sense? So what did you see on your court on the resets?
I think just recognizing once we started playing it out, when you hit a good one, and a good one is usually slower pace, and then comfortably going in, following that shot. So that will help you once we start playing points, and once we hit the third shot, then we can probably see the fifth shot over there, we can reset it, and then by the time we're hitting the seventh shot, we can get into the kitchen. So if you want to maybe show how you can drive third, reset fifth, and get in, or drop third, reset fifth.
So different combos, like Irina was talking about. I can either drive the third or I can drop the third, right? How many people here do both? Can you do both? Yeah? Is drop still harder for you guys than a drive? For most? Okay, so if you do drive the third, not a big deal, but a lot of the fifths then we will have to drop or reset, okay? I'm gonna show that where I drive the third. So that's my third, I'll drive it, and then I'm here, I'm gonna reset it, and then I'm gonna come in, play it out at the kitchen here, okay? Now give me a little bit more pace on the block. So if I drive the third, I need to expect the pace back. If I give pace, sometimes I need to expect the pace back, okay? So I'm gonna drive the third, give me pace here, tight in, and then keep moving, No. All right, look at another thing is, when do I stop and when do I move? I move when my ball is in flight, okay? I pause on the court right before she hits. If my ball is high that I just hit, I wouldn't even move forward, but I trust my hands right now and my skill set to reset the ball from here. So if I drive pretty like up here, I'm still moving forward because I have a good skill set of a reset here. If I don't have the skill set here, then I won't probably move forward after the drive. Does that make sense? So here, a couple scenarios. So maybe I drive high and then I just drive high again and I don't know how to reset and I'm just over here at the baseline driving the ball, okay? Like this. And just hoping for the best running somewhere. That's what we see sometimes. So it's not wrong for you guys to stay at the baseline till you get a better look. Defense also wins championships, okay? So we don't just run to the kitchen to run to the kitchen, we get up there strategically. So if you or your partner are making some better, dippier shots, that's all we move up, okay? When you guys drive, I want to see you using your legs as your powerhouse, so backhand drive. Do any of you drive two-handed? Some, okay? If you drive two-handed, left leg, if you're a right-handed, like is back here, boom, or open stance here, okay? From the forehand drive, over here, I drive most of my shots topspin. Do you see that? The ball is spinning forward. So I go dip the head of the paddle here, boom, okay? Mimic me a little bit, so show me, I get a little bit of space. If we're gonna drive forehand, you can go close stance here, okay? Transfer the weight from the right leg to the left. I pivot this leg here, I plant, and then I pivot. I can also drive open stance here. I just rotate my trunk, back to the left leg. Does that make sense? Okay. Show me. So yours is probably flat. That's fine. Start a little bit low to high. Low to high versus you were showing me high to low. Does that make sense? Okay. Now for the drop, if we do a third shot drop, I think of it as an accelerated dink. Okay. So when I dink over here, okay, so I'm dinking, you see this, and then I move back. My drop, I'm holding my shoulder so you can see that this motion is coming from my shoulder joint. Do you see this? Okay, I don't drop like that. I usually go here. But do you see how I'm really just accelerating the dink in a way? Here, here. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now with the backhand drop, I'm gonna have Irina show it because she has a really good one-handed backhand drop.
The goal is 5 in a row. Let's try.
Okay. So Irina uses a one-handed backhand drop. Woo. That's nice and slicey. Nice. There it is. Nice. Okay. There it is. Okay. Or you can drop two-handed. Can you show the two-handed drop? Yeah. You see how she's dropping two-handed? So we are good with all the variations. Just whatever works for you guys. Nice. So let's do, if you drive, then you maybe drop the next one. So I'm gonna go here. If you drive, I'm gonna try to drop this one. Okay? Get set, and then I'm gonna drive again, and then I'm gonna drop the next one, and then drive. Gives me a little bit of time to recover in between. Does that make sense? Okay? So she's asking strategy of where to drive.
Body, middle,
or person coming in at the feet. So if Irina is returning my serve, and if I hit a good deep serve, I'm gonna maybe try to drive at her feet. So deep serve, I'm gonna go here. Maybe I'll try to drive at the feet. Now, I'm gonna drive middle.
All right, you got the middle, partner.
We'll see if she blocks the middle drive. Let's see it. I'm here. Yeah, she's got it. Okay. But a lot of times, like this person is coming in, maybe they haven't played much together. That middle drive is a big target strategically and creates a little bit of miscommunication. And it eliminates their angles a little bit too on that block. Like when they're blocking, maybe my partner is looking to be aggressive so they can close in, because a lot of times off of this drive, their ball is coming back like a little bit more through the middle too. Does that make sense? Let's do one up, one back. The person who's back for a second, work a little bit on mixing up drives and drops, and then we'll do like a full transition, and then we'll go into points and strategy, okay? You can drive the first ball you get, which is your third shot, right. And then I want you to drop your fifth or your seventh, and then let's work all the way up. So let's just make it more realistic. Let's say you get the first ball and only drive if you're in a good position and if it's the right ball. So if your partner feeds you a ball where you're barely reaching it, don't drive it, okay? But if you're well set, you can drive. Then let's work on drop. Let's work on resetting and working all the way up, and then we play out the point, okay? Can you be my partner for a second? I'm gonna show her what she's doing. She's overrunning the ball a little bit. So you're kind of like going through the ball a little bit and it's too close to you, okay? Versus here, okay? I want you to get the ball out a little bit more in front. Here, you go for it. So see, out in front, out in front, out in front. And I'm not running, because sometimes you just tend to go a little bit too close to your like belly to the ball, okay? Good hands. In the transition, I want you pausing right before she hits. Sometimes you do it well, where you go and then you pause right before she hits, and then you pause right before she hits, and sometimes you just run through it, okay? So watch, sometimes what happens is you drop, and then you just kind of like keep going. I mean, that's a slow ball, that didn't hurt you, but on the one that she punches faster, then you get a little bit more out of position. Okay. Does that make sense? Pause right before she hits, yeah. And then you keep going.
It's okay if one side is better than the other. My forehand drive is exponentially better than my backhand drive. So I use my backhand drive maybe less. I use it more in singles, but in double scenarios. So it's okay. And if you have a side that's not comfortable, just spend this time working on it, because that's why we're here for
Show us
practice.
body position of a backhand drive.
So we face the ball. The ball is going left. So we're gonna turn left using left side of our body, right? And now we're tracking the ball with our right shoulder, and then we can move anywhere, step in, and swing, right? That lines you up, and your right shoulder is your marker, and then you track the ball, and you step in into the front foot, and you just swing, and then you look good at the end on the photo. So it's the mirror image. Think of it as a left-handed forehand, but the left hand is part of the journey.
So on the fourth shot, if I drive middle right now, it's gonna be her ball, okay? So serve is 1, 2, I drive middle, that's her ball. Now for people who are right-handed and they stay on the left, it's intuitive because it's their forehand. We get in a little bit more trouble when we are the other way. So now she's gonna return. If she returns to you, rip it down the middle, through the middle. Okay, ready? Okay, so it's her back, and I'm gonna do one more where it's a little bit wider, so because that one was coming at you. So you'll see Irina take a step to it, okay? So I serve, okay? So you see how she's coming in to block that ball, even though it's her forehand? Sometimes people get confused because they're always like, they think it's always the forehand. Okay, so why is that? Why is Irina taking that ball? Why are you taking that ball?
Because I'm running up.
Yes, so she's running up, and a lot of times on the fourth ball, you want to just protect that middle. Whoever is over here established, all you have to do is literally take a good step over and hit the ball, okay? While this person is like running the whole distance. Now, at the kitchen, we're gonna dink around. We also get confused a little bit. We're gonna dink around, and then I'm gonna speed up the ball down the middle, here, this one, okay? So I want Irina to come block this ball, okay? Because you have to still watch your line. Okay. Does that make sense? If Irina pops up a dink, or if I pop up a dink, so you do that to me. So if I dink, maybe this is good. If I pop this dink up, I'm gonna squeeze here, and this partner is gonna look at her line, okay?
Yeah, I'll be
okay? Because she could very much go at her. Does that make sense? Okay, we're covering highest speed up probabilities. Does that make sense? So if she's speeding up here, I'm covering here, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna pop up a dink. I'm covering this ball, and she's covering this ball. If she chooses not to speed up the ball, and go like a dink behind me. So we dink around, and I give her a high dink. I'm like, oh gosh, I am just relying on my athleticism to get that ball behind me. So I cover the speed up ball in a way. I'm sitting on the speed up balls more. If she chooses to dink, I'm hoping my athleticism will kick in and I'll get to that dink. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah. So I am over here. I've got a little bit of an opportunity to attack. She's got to watch her line. You have to cover this middle. Okay, so you have to practice going here and then quick boom. If you plop up a dink or you give me an opportunity to attack, or there might be a chance, you have to squeeze up here. Okay, it's your job. Does that make sense? Can you do it?
I can try.
So we're gonna dink around a little bit. We're gonna dink around. Good. Okay, you're there. You're there. Okay, good job. Really nice. So it's not just forehand, backhand. It's a little bit more of where the ball is coming from. So let's do this. Let's play points. Let's have an intention when we play points. So your intention could be, okay, I'm gonna try to hit the third shot to the person who's running in. Your intention could be like, I'm gonna try to leave out balls. That's an intention, okay? In the midcourt, your intention could be, okay, I'm gonna really focus in the midcourt on absorbing the ball and just really working on the transition with my partner. We're gonna walk around and give you feedback as you play.
See? Perfect textbook. Covering middle on the fourth shot.
On the return, I want you to run up, but I don't want you to run through the ball. So there's a difference. So when I return, I rotate my trunk a little bit. I return, and then I keep going. But I don't go like this, because then you run through the ball and then you start hitting it behind you. And that's more error prone. Okay, but I return and then I start going. So stay low and down with your return and then go. You can drill with your drill buddy, you can use a ball machine, you can play intentional rec games, because some people don't like the drilling, and that's totally fine wherever you are in the pickleball journey. We spend probably more time drilling than playing at the pro level, I would say, just like focusing on certain shots, certain decision-making balls. If you do drill with intention. So set one intention for the day. Maybe it's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna really focus on the resets and I'm gonna stay really focused on my good posturing, staying low with the ball. And if you feel like your focus or concentration is fading out, I think it's better to drill for a shorter period of time, but be fully intentional than drill all these hours, but not be intentional about it.